Thank you.
Just some housekeeping. Does anybody have a lunch ticket? Anyone has lunch ticket? Okay, make sure you have lunch ticket with you. So right after the third session, we're going to go to the... yeah, so we have lunch right outside after the third session. So make sure you have lunch ticket with you. Okay? And also, you know, they cost quite a bit to put together this program, so we highly recommend it that you could chip in. There's a donation box outside, so you can drop 5, 10, 20, whatever you can afford, so we can cover some of the costs. Yeah, I think I would like to acknowledge some of the organizations. Can you have a seat, please? If you can hear me, clap once. Again, can you clap? Thank you. Please have a seat so we can start the first session, please. Có tên phương đi qua thì ai cũng là sẽ biết cái mới nào sai cái chính làm thì sai đó. Mình có ta tự làm á. Mình chụp lại á, xin kẹp lại á. Okay, I'd like to acknowledge some of the important people present in this occasion. I mean, the success of today due to their sacrifice the time and effort to be here today with us. So there's people who come all the way from Pennsylvania, like Abdullah Isa, and also people come all the way from Arkansas, Tuyển, and a lot of people come all the way from Seattle. Any people from Seattle, please raise your hand. Yeah. And people from Oregon. Oregon people, raise your hand, please. Yeah. So then I would like to acknowledge there's a few president and vice president of all the organizations. I'd like to acknowledge the presence today because it's very important that we come together in this special occasion. Let me speak in Vietnamese, maybe, I don't know, the organization. Đây là câu của mấy hội đoàn cái này hội bảo tồn văn hóa Champa đó. Cái là câu này ông chủ tịch Đặng Trúc Linh hôm qua đây ní ông Đắc Kim phó chủ tịch hội bảo tồn văn hóa Champa Conference-part và ông Dương Tất An phó chủ tịch hội bảo tồn văn hóa Champa. Còn bác Trúc Thiệu nên tổng thư ký của hội bảo tồn văn hóa Champa. Xin cho phát minh hội bảo tồn văn hóa Champa đại diện anh đi tham gia đây đại viên phân trì. Cảm ơn ông Chau, tức là trưởng ban hội thanh niên Pleiran Rani. Cảm ơn ông Bá Văn Động, chủ tịch hội văn hóa truyền thống Champa. Ông là Lương Quang Sáng. Lương Quang Sáng nó rất là gồm hay đi. Các vị tham gia Lương Quang Sáng từ cổ sĩ Okay, Lương Quang Sáng is a champion who helped print the banner. Should I say free of cost? No. So thank you so much for your contribution and support. Chứng Thông Thành Ngọc Xuân, he used to be the former president of the hội văn hóa truyền thống Champa của Sacramento. As I mentioned earlier, there's books outside the Kingdom of Champa. It's for free for those who come here today, so feel free to take it home with you. Okay, and also, as I mentioned earlier, it costs quite a bit to run this this program together. So if you can donate a little bit of your, within your means to help us cover some of the costs. And make sure you have the lunch ticket with you. After this, we will go out and have lunch. And without this ticket, we cannot kind of distribute, So with that, I will pass on the microphone to the moderator for the next session. Okay, thank you so much.
Hello, before I turn it over to the moderator for the next panel, we need to make an announcement. The facilities don't have the proper adapters that we need, and we're having trouble running audio visual. Does anyone here have Mac adapters on them? Really? Okay. Again, Professor Valverde saves the day. Hopefully this will work. If not, we'll go from there and keep trying to improvise.
So try to have some energy, okay? This is the last session, and then we'll go into entertainment. So my name is Asma. For some of you who don't know who I am, I'm the daughter of Hiji Santu. Dad, can you stand really quick so people know who I'm talking about? In case people are like, who's this girl? Okay, so we're gonna make this panel a little bit more interactive. So I'm gonna ask all the youth who are here to move up and sit down. Because this panel is the Education and Careers panel, so this is for you. So we've been talking about the next generation, and we're here to basically provide resources, answer questions in terms of what careers or education interests you have. So let's make it a little interactive. Okay, anybody who is under the age of 35, can you stand up? For the youth who are here. Okay, good. You can sit down now. And all of you who stood up, we expect some questions, okay? So we want it to be interactive. All right, so I'm going to introduce the panelists right now. Right next to me is Asiroh Cham. She actually was born in a refugee camp in Thailand, and yeah, I think her family's here, right? Shout out to Asiroh. All right. Okay. So she has received a lot of prestigious awards for the work that she's been doing on the side. This is actually like her side interest, among many other things, is film. And she actually just received the 2012-2013 award with the Camera Fellowship through Visual Communications. She also had the opportunity to work on a documentary, The Killing Fields of Dr. Huang Nho, directed by Oscar-nominated director Arthur Dong. And she received her undergrad and her bachelor's and master's degree from UCLA. Go Bruins! Any Bruins here? Okay, cool. So she is also going to be showcasing one of her, we're going to be screening one of her films later today, so you guys should stick around after lunch. All right, so this is Asiroh, so give her a round of applause. Next to Asiroh is Ariya Chau. Ariya, thank you for being here. She's actually expecting, so let's give her, she's going to be starting a family, so. Yeah, she's regenerating Champa, like literally, right? So Ariya actually got her, she graduated from UC Berkeley and received her undergraduate degree in public health. And right now she's actually in medical school here at UC Davis School of Medicine, right? All right, cool. So she is interested in pursuing the pediatric field. So for those of you who are interested in medicine, that's why we have her here. All right, and next to her is, okay, I'm going to try, Muhamedarifeine. Right, that's the first name. That's the first name, and the last name is Manhsour. All right, cool. And he came all the way from Seattle, you guys, so give him a round of applause. I'm just going to shorten it, actually works at the University of Washington in the Office of Minority Affairs and Diversity, and he focuses on outreach and basically trying to get a lot of minority students to pursue higher education. And so this is, an opportunity, again, for those of you who are interested in pursuing higher education, getting your master's, or just learning the different career options that are out there. He's the person to definitely talk to, and he'll be talking about that as well. So Seattle presence, round of applause again. And last but not least, we have Rohimah, Moly, and she has a really fancy title, and I'm actually really intimidated. So I'm very honored that she's on this panel with everyone. She is the Deputy Commissioner of Legislation at the California Department of Business and Oversight. And she served as Director of Legislative, that's right. So she's in the policy sector. I have a bias because my background is in policy too, so go policy. She served as Director of Legislative Affairs at the California State Treasurer's Office. And before that, she was Special Assistant to the Treasurer. She was also a campaign manager, and she's been active in terms of just policy and politics. So we're near Sacramento, the capital of California, so, we got someone here. All right, so let's give them a round of applause and we'll get started. And we actually have another panelist who is here in spirit, Rofek Yusuf. He couldn't be here physically, and we are in the process of we're going to try to show a video message that he sent. So we'll play that towards the end, and he is a software engineer. So that'll be interesting for those who are interested in the tech arena. And I think he started an app for the Cham community. So we're gonna be screening a little snippet that he sent. And he's from Santa Ana. So those who are here from Santa Ana, again, we're going to make this panel a little bit more interactive. If you guys have questions for any of the panelists, please raise your hand and ask questions. We want to have this more of a discussion and dialogue. I'll get it started, and if anything comes up, raise your hand. It'll be sort of like, again, discussion, okay? So don't hesitate to come up. Want to make it a little interactive. All right, so the first question to all of you is, what led you to enter the field that you are in now, and how have you embraced it? And we start from there and come back.
Thank you for that kind introduction. I'm striving to be, my next title is Princess, so we'll see what we get. But thanks for the invitation to participate in this panel. It's great to see, old and new faces here. So how did I get to where I am today? It was a lot of, I think, somewhat by luck and chance, but I did an internship for Bill Locker, who was running for Attorney General at that time, and really liked the politics of it, you know, the ups and downs, the crazies, you know, staying till midnight doing work, reaching out to constituents, and went and finished school and came back and then worked on his re-election campaign. The flip side of politics is the policy work, which is what I mostly do now. And policy is very important because it impacts everyone here. You know, the laws that we make, the legislation, the involvement, it affects all Californians. Whether you get to vote or not, you know, taxes, driver's license for immigrants, all of those issues are really important. But just a little bit of background of what I do in particular at my job. The Department of Business Oversight, they regulate finance lenders. So that includes banks, you know, not the national banks. You're more aware of like Wells Fargo and Chase, you know, those are nationally chartered. But if you bank with Golden One for Sacramentans who are around here, you know, they're one of our licensees. We also regulate investment advisors, broker dealers. So if you guys are interested in, you know, making a ton of money on Wall Street, you know, you're expected to be a licensee, as well as payday lenders. I don't know how many of you have ever experienced or know about payday loans, but they're the small loans who, you know, they do provide a service, but interest rates are really, really high. So those are the folks that we regulate to make sure that they follow the laws, the rules, they're in compliance with California laws, national laws, and if there's a complaint, folks call our office, we investigate, we look into it, and make sure that they are, you know, properly offering the products and not gouging consumers out there. I work more on the policy side, so any bills that are introduced in the legislature that impacts finance lenders, investment advisors, any of that, come through my unit. We look at it, we see what's best, with a particular eye, you know, looking out for consumers most of all. And, you know, we're under the governor's wing, so anything we do needs his blessing, which is a little bit different than my previous job, working for another elected, you know, constitutional. But basically, it was free labor. That's how I got into this, and somewhat I discovered that was where my passion, and just went with it.
I would like to start out with Islamic greeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First and foremost, entering the field was very different. Being first generation as a whole is a whole different theme park you enter yourself. Right? It's like going to Disneyland for the first time. Not knowing what ride you want to ride, what opportunities out there. So being first in your family, not only your family, but sometimes your community and whatnot, can be very challenging. Being a male, there's a lot of different, you know, different obstacles in life that you can challenge yourself with too. So myself in particular, it was opportunities that, growing up in Seattle, you have different opportunities that you could reach out to. Opportunities that you never knew of. Parents coming from a different land, not understanding America. So for you to born and raised in America, you follow different routes where friends take you, where parents trying to influence you. And sometimes you don't know which direction you're getting into. But one thing that I always had in common ground was I wanted to help people. I wanted to help someone. And I wanted to do something to inspire or to believe in someone else. And I knew that was my journey and that's going to be my path. I thought I was going to be a doctor. But then mom and dad always influenced it. But the doctor is not just an easy obstacle, right? It's school after school. I was a high school dropout, not understanding what is education after high school. I worked a couple jobs before I entered the field of education, right? The field of education itself is a theme park, right? One time you go to financial aid, one time you go to your advising office, you change from one major to another major, but you don't realize that step of understanding. One big thing I did in my education career was advocating for Cham. right? Advocating to have a Cham checkbox at the University of Washington. And one thing that I really want to advocate for is that we're a presence in Seattle. We're a presence in the world. We're a presence around. So how can people not talk about us, right? So one thing that I did was to advocate that we need a presence and we need to help our people somehow in some way. So one of the biggest things I focus on was the youth. We really advocate for the youth and how to inspire hope and how to inspire education to change the ballpark in Seattle, to change the atmosphere of letting our parents understand what is education. So we're letting our parents understand that education is not just, you go to the University of Washington, you're gonna finish. It's gonna take some time. Some people might take longer. Some people run fast. But when we're putting this stigma on our youth and saying that, oh, you have to finish in 4 years, and the youth themselves is going on a different ballpark that our parents do not understand. So if we talk and communicate with our children, I believe, and let them understand that, that they have hope, right? We believe in them, and we want to inspire hope for them to finish or to go on their path. And then the thing, what I'll say to the youth is that you have a dream, and you have a goal too. Your parents have one agenda, but you have your own agenda too, right? Follow your agenda, because that's the agenda that you're going to live by. And follow that agenda so that you can understand what you really want to do. And one thing I do at the University of Washington is to advocate for the Southeast Asian community, and in particular the Cham community. So if any of you guys really want to be fascinated about education with, with the university, use your resources, use your elders to your advantage, use your older brothers and sisters as mentors, as guidance who went through it already, and ask them for help too, because they know stuff that a lot of people might not know. So use them to your advantage and just ask for help.